Living alone as you age can be a journey filled with both peace and empowerment. You have the freedom to do what you want, when you want, without interruptions or obligations to others. While this is true to some extent, there's another side to the story that isn't often discussed, things you won't fully understand until you experience them yourself. Drawing from the wisdom shared across various platforms and forums, I want to share insights from those who have walked this path before. It's not all bad, it's just real. Let's explore the aspects of living alone as an older person that people don't tell you about, and how you can make the most of it. If you find this content helpful, be sure to subscribe to the Stoic Mind Mastery channel for more insights and inspiration. Now, let's dive in and discover more. 1. Your sense of time may shift in unexpected ways. Living alone can change your relationship with time. Without the rhythms of another person in the house, you may lose track of the day, the week, or even the month. Several people online have mentioned that time either stretches out too long or slips away unnoticed. A man commented that after his retirement and the passing of his spouse, he had days where he wasn't sure what day it was, or even what time. This happens because you no longer have external cues like a partner's work schedule or children's activities to structure your day. The good news is you have the power to create your own rhythm. Some people find that sticking to a loose schedule helps. For example, you could designate certain days for specific tasks, grocery shopping on Mondays, house cleaning on Thursdays, and so on. Others find it helpful to engage in hobbies that make them look forward to specific times of day or week, like attending a weekly class, gardening in the afternoons, or cooking special Sunday dinners. It's important to keep track of time, but also allow yourself to enjoy its flow. Living alone gives you the chance to structure your days around what works for you, and that's a gift. 2. Decluttering becomes both easier and harder. When you live alone, the task of decluttering takes on a new significance. On one hand, there's no one around to argue over which items to keep or toss, which can make the process smoother. On the other hand, everything in your home becomes a reflection of your life. Every photo, every book, every piece of furniture holds memories, and letting go of them can feel more personal. I remember reading a comment from an older woman who had lived alone for years. She shared how she found herself keeping things because of their sentimental value, even though she knew she didn't need them. She said, "It's just me. So who does it hurt to hold on to these things? But then I think, do I really want to leave all this for someone else to sort through?" Many people in online communities emphasize the emotional difficulty of decluttering when you live alone. Objects take on a deeper meaning, and parting with them feels like closing chapters of your life. But there's also freedom in simplifying. A man in his late 60s shared how he decided to downsize his belongings to make life simpler for himself and his family. He said it gave him peace of mind knowing that his home felt more manageable. Decluttering, when you're older and alone, isn't about minimalism for the sake of it. It's about making your space a reflection of who you are now, not who you were in the past. It's okay to keep the things that bring you joy, but letting go of what no longer serves you can be liberating. Start small, tackle one area at a time, and allow yourself to feel the emotions that come with it. After all, this is your space, and you have the power to shape it as you wish. 3. Social invitations might decrease, but you have to create your own fun. One surprising thing about living alone as you get older is how social invitations start to dwindle. It's not that people stop caring about you, but as friends and family move into different stages of life, busy with their families, careers, or even moving away, you might find yourself less involved in group activities. A few people in forums expressed how they noticed they weren't invited to gatherings as much anymore, and it can feel a bit isolating. One woman shared, "I used to wait for my phone to ring, but now I've learned I need to be proactive." This is such valuable advice. Instead of waiting for others to invite you, create your own social life. It could be as simple as inviting a friend for coffee, organizing a book club, or hosting a movie night in your living room. The best part, when you host or organize the fun, you get to shape it around what you enjoy. One man in his 60s mentioned starting a neighborhood walking group where every Sunday, a small group would meet and explore different local trails. It kept him connected and active, all while doing something he loved. Living alone means you have the freedom to design your social life, so take charge of it. If you like crafting, invite people over for a DIY night. If you love a certain TV show, plan a weekly watch party. Be the one who reaches out, and you'll find that others will follow. 4. It's easy to neglect self-care, but it's more important than ever. When you live alone, it can be easy to let self-care slip through the cracks. Without someone there to notice if you've been wearing the same clothes for days or if you haven't cooked a proper meal, it's tempting to fall into a routine of neglecting your own needs. Many people express a sense of "who am I doing this for?" when it comes to self-care. The answer is simple: you're doing it for yourself. Take the story of Mr. Lewis, who after years of living alone, realized he was letting small things slide. He found himself skipping meals, neglecting regular showers, and spending too much time on the couch. It dawned on him that he deserved the same care and attention he would give to someone else. This realization was a turning point, prompting him to prioritize his well-being. Self-care is not just about grooming or eating well, it's also about maintaining your mental health. It involves keeping up with medical appointments, ensuring you get enough sleep, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. For instance, Mrs. Johnson, who lives alone, has created a soothing evening routine. She lights candles, applies a face mask, and reads a book. This small ritual is her way of nurturing herself, providing a sense of comfort and relaxation. Making self-care a priority is essential, even when there's no one around to notice. Start by getting dressed each morning, even if you have no plans to leave the house. This simple act can set a positive tone for the day and boost your mood. Cooking meals that you enjoy is another way to care for yourself, turning mealtime into an opportunity for creativity and nourishment. Pampering yourself in ways that make you feel uplifted is crucial. Whether it's taking a long bath, practicing meditation, or indulging in a hobby, these activities can enhance your quality of life and reinforce your sense of self-worth. Remember, living alone doesn't mean you should settle for less when it comes to your well-being. You deserve the best care, and only you can provide it for yourself. 5. Being your own emergency backup. Living alone in your later years brings a unique set of challenges, one of the most significant being the realization that you are your own safety net. This can be a daunting thought, especially when you consider that there's no one around to notice if something goes wrong. Many stories circulate about individuals who have experienced falls or medical emergencies and were not discovered for hours or even days because they didn't have anyone checking on them regularly. Take the story of Mr. Anderson, a retired teacher who lived in a quaint, rural area. He enjoyed the tranquility and independence of his solitary life, but one winter morning, he slipped on ice while fetching the newspaper. Unable to move, he lay there for several hours until a neighbor happened to pass by and noticed him. This incident was a wake-up call for Mr. Anderson, highlighting the importance of having a reliable emergency plan in place. In response to such risks, many older adults have adopted the habit of carrying their phones everywhere, even in the shower, just in case of an emergency. While this might seem extreme to some, it's a practical measure that can make a significant difference in ensuring safety. For those living in more remote areas or without close neighbors, additional precautions are advisable. Wearing a smartwatch or a medical alert system can be invaluable. These devices are designed to detect falls and can automatically alert emergency services or designated contacts, providing peace of mind and allowing individuals to continue living alone with confidence. Consider the experience of Mrs. Lee, who decided to invest in a medical alert system after hearing about a friend's fall. She chose a device that not only monitored her movements but also allowed her to call for help with the press of a button. This small piece of technology gave her the assurance that she could get assistance quickly if needed, without having to rely solely on her phone. Another practical solution is installing an emergency key lockbox outside the home. This was the approach taken by Ms. Garcia, who lived alone in a suburban neighborhood. She placed a lockbox with a spare key outside her house, ensuring that trusted friends or family members could access her home in an emergency without having to break a window or force entry. This simple step provided her with an added layer of security and comfort, knowing that help was always within reach. These stories illustrate the importance of being proactive about safety when living alone. It's not just about having the right tools and technology, but also about creating a network of support. Regular check-ins with family, friends, or neighbors can be a crucial part of this safety net. Some communities even offer programs where volunteers make daily phone calls to seniors living alone, providing both social interaction and a safety check. 6. Loneliness can be a real struggle, even for introverts. Living alone is often seen as an ideal situation for introverts, offering the peace and solitude they naturally crave. However, even the most solitary individuals can encounter unexpected bouts of loneliness, particularly as they grow older. This is a reality that many people don't anticipate until they find themselves in it. Over time, social circles tend to shrink, friends move away, retire, or pass on, leaving fewer opportunities for social interaction. Meeting new people can also become more challenging, adding to the sense of isolation. Consider the story of Mr. Thompson, an elderly gentleman who cherished his independence. He enjoyed the freedom to spend his days as he pleased, without having to accommodate anyone else's schedule. Yet he found himself going days without a single conversation. While he appreciated the quiet, he missed the casual interactions that come with having someone around to share the little things in life, like discussing the weather or what to have for dinner. These small exchanges, often taken for granted, can significantly impact one's sense of connection and well-being. For many, the solution to this loneliness has been to adopt a pet. Pets offer companionship, a sense of routine, and a responsibility that can fill the void left by a lack of human interaction. Take, for example, Mrs. Johnson, who decided to adopt a cat after her husband passed away. She found that her feline friend provided a comforting presence in her home. "My cat might not talk," she said, "but he's always there when I come home, and that makes all the difference." The simple act of caring for another living being brought structure to her days and a sense of purpose that she had been missing. Pets can also encourage physical activity and social interaction. Walking a dog, for instance, can lead to encounters with neighbors or fellow pet owners, creating opportunities for conversation and connection. These interactions, while brief, can help alleviate feelings of loneliness and foster a sense of community. Moreover, pets can be a source of emotional support. They offer unconditional love and companionship, which can be incredibly comforting during times of loneliness. The routine of feeding, grooming, and playing with a pet can provide a sense of normalcy and stability, helping to combat the unpredictability and isolation that can come with living alone. In addition to adopting a pet, there are other ways to combat loneliness. Engaging in community activities, joining clubs or groups with shared interests, and volunteering can all provide opportunities to meet new people and build connections. Technology also offers ways to stay connected with loved ones, whether through video calls, social media, or online communities. While living alone can present challenges, particularly in terms of loneliness, there are many ways to address these feelings and create a fulfilling, connected life. By seeking out companionship, whether through pets or community involvement, and embracing opportunities for social interaction, older adults can enjoy the benefits of independence while maintaining meaningful connections with others. 7. Keeping up with home maintenance can be overwhelming. As we age, maintaining a home can become increasingly challenging. Tasks that once seemed routine, like cleaning gutters, mowing the lawn, or even vacuuming, can start to feel exhausting. This shift in energy levels and physical capability is a common experience among older adults, and it can lead to a backlog of chores that feel overwhelming to tackle alone. Consider the story of Mrs. Thompson, a retired nurse who prided herself on keeping a tidy home. Over the years, she noticed that her energy waned, and tasks that once took her an afternoon now stretched into days. She kept a list of home projects, everything from repainting the fence to fixing a leaky faucet, but found herself putting most of them off. It wasn't that she didn't care about her home, she simply found it too overwhelming to manage everything by herself. Mrs. Thompson's experience is not unique. Many older adults find themselves in similar situations where the desire to maintain their homes conflicts with their physical limitations. This can lead to feelings of frustration and helplessness as the list of unfinished tasks grows longer. One solution is to seek help, and there's no shame in doing so. Hiring someone to handle the heavy lifting chores can be a practical and effective way to manage home maintenance. For instance, Mr. and Miss Johnson, a couple in their late 70s, decided to hire a local handyman to take care of seasonal tasks like gutter cleaning and lawn care. This decision not only eased their workload but also gave them peace of mind, knowing that their home was being well maintained. For those on a tighter budget, asking family and friends to pitch in occasionally can also be a great help. Many people are more than willing to lend a hand, especially if it means spending quality time together. Mrs. Thompson, for example, started hosting monthly home improvement days where her children and grandchildren would come over to help with various projects. These days became cherished family gatherings, filled with laughter and teamwork, transforming what once felt like burdensome chores into enjoyable activities. Another option to consider is downsizing. Moving to a smaller living space can significantly reduce the amount of maintenance required, allowing you to focus on the things that truly matter. This was the path chosen by Mr. Harris, who, after his wife passed away, found it increasingly difficult to keep up with their large family home. He decided to move into a cozy apartment in a senior living community, where he no longer had to worry about yard work or extensive home repairs. The move not only lightened his physical load, but also provided him with a vibrant community and new social opportunities. Downsizing doesn't mean giving up your independence. Rather, it can enhance it by freeing up time and energy to pursue hobbies, travel, or simply relax. It's about creating a living environment that suits your current lifestyle and needs. Ultimately, keeping up with home maintenance as you age requires a shift in perspective. It's important to recognize your limits and prioritize tasks that are essential while letting go of those that are not. By seeking help, whether through hiring professionals, enlisting family support, or downsizing, you can maintain a comfortable and safe living environment without feeling overwhelmed. 8. Your daily routine becomes sacred, and that's okay. Living alone can transform daily routines into sacred rituals, providing a sense of stability and comfort. Without a partner or housemate to share responsibilities or spontaneous plans, these routines become the backbone of your day, offering structure and predictability. They are not just tasks to be completed, but cherished moments that ground you and give your life rhythm. Take the story of Mrs. Carter, a retired librarian in her 70s. Every morning, she begins her day by playing her favorite classical music while preparing breakfast. This simple act fills her quiet house with energy and sets a positive tone for the day. The familiar melodies and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee create a comforting atmosphere that she looks forward to each morning. For Mrs. Carter, this routine is more than just a habit. It's a cherished ritual that brings joy and a sense of normalcy to her life. Similarly, Mr. Bennett, a widower in his late 60s, finds solace in his evening routine of watering his garden. Each evening, as the sun begins to set, he steps outside to tend to his plants. This activity is not just about maintaining his garden, it's a time for reflection and relaxation. The act of nurturing his plants gives him a sense of purpose and accomplishment, providing a peaceful end to his day. For Mr. Bennett, this routine is a vital part of his life, offering both structure and satisfaction. These stories highlight the importance of daily routines for those living alone. They provide a sense of control and continuity, helping to anchor you in the present moment. Whether it's a morning walk, an afternoon cup of tea, or an evening spent reading, these small, everyday moments become meaningful rituals that enrich your life. For many, these routines are not just about maintaining order, but also about self-care and personal fulfillment. They offer opportunities to engage in activities that bring joy and satisfaction, whether it's pursuing a hobby, enjoying a favorite pastime, or simply taking time to relax and unwind. Embracing these routines can enhance your quality of life, providing a sense of purpose and contentment. It's important to recognize that having a routine is not a sign of rigidity or inflexibility. On the contrary, it's a way to create a sense of stability and security in your life. These routines are your own, tailored to your preferences and needs, and they give you the freedom to live life on your terms. Consider the experience of Ms. Lopez, who found that establishing a daily routine helped her cope with the transition to living alone after her husband passed away. She created a schedule that included time for exercise, meditation, and creative pursuits like painting and writing. This routine not only provided structure to her days, but also helped her discover new interests and passions. It became a source of empowerment, allowing her to embrace her independence and explore new possibilities. Incorporating routines into your life can also foster a sense of community and connection. Joining a local club or group that meets regularly can provide social interaction and a sense of belonging. Whether it's a book club, a gardening group, or a fitness class, these activities can become an integral part of your routine, offering opportunities to meet new people and build relationships. Your daily routine is a reflection of who you are and what you value. It's a way to express your individuality and create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. By embracing these routines, you can find joy and satisfaction in the everyday moments, making living alone a rewarding and enriching experience. 9. Cooking for one can be tricky but rewarding. Cooking for one can be surprisingly challenging when you're older and living alone. Without the need to prepare large meals, it often feels like too much effort to cook a full dish just for yourself. Many people find themselves relying on frozen meals or takeout because it's easier and more convenient. However, embracing the art of cooking for yourself can transform this task from a chore into a rewarding experience. Take the story of Mrs. Green, who initially found cooking for herself to be a daunting task after her husband passed away. She often resorted to quick, pre-packaged meals, feeling that the effort of cooking wasn't worth it for just one person. However, after attending a local cooking class, she discovered a new perspective. She began to see cooking as an act of self-care, a way to nurture herself and enjoy the process of creating something delicious. Batch cooking on weekends became a game changer for her. By preparing meals that could be stored and enjoyed over several days, she found a balance between effort and convenience. This approach not only saved time but also ensured she had healthy, home-cooked meals ready whenever she needed them. Mrs. Green also started experimenting with new recipes, treating cooking as a hobby rather than a necessity. This exploration brought joy and creativity into her kitchen, making meal preparation an enjoyable part of her routine. Cooking for yourself can be a powerful reminder that you are worth the effort. It allows you to tailor meals to your tastes and dietary needs, ensuring that you eat well and stay healthy. Moreover, it can be a more budget-friendly option compared to frequently dining out or ordering takeout. For many, the act of cooking becomes a meditative process, offering a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. It provides an opportunity to slow down, focus on the present moment, and take pleasure in the simple act of creating a meal. Whether it's trying out a new recipe or perfecting a favorite dish, cooking can be a fulfilling and enriching experience. 10. The quiet can be both a blessing and a curse. Silence can be an unexpected challenge when you start living alone, especially if you're accustomed to a bustling household or the constant activity of a full-time job. The quiet can feel overwhelming, particularly in the evenings when the absence of noise becomes more pronounced. For some, this newfound peace is a welcome change, offering a chance to relax and unwind. However, for others, the silence can be unsettling and even lonely. Consider the experience of Miss Adams, who found the quiet of her home almost deafening after her children moved out. To combat the silence, she began leaving the radio on while doing her chores, filling the air with music and conversation. This simple change brought a sense of liveliness back into her home, making her feel more connected to the world outside. Similarly, Mr. Thompson, a retired engineer, discovered that listening to podcasts throughout the day helped him feel less isolated. The voices and stories provided a comforting background, creating the illusion of companionship and keeping his mind engaged. Whether it's music, audiobooks, or the TV, finding ways to break the silence can significantly enhance your living experience. On the other hand, the quiet can also be a profound gift, especially if you've spent much of your life surrounded by people and noise. It offers a space for introspection, allowing you to think, reflect, and recharge. For many, this solitude becomes a time for personal growth and creativity, providing the freedom to explore new interests and hobbies without distraction. Embracing the quiet can lead to a deeper understanding of yourself and your needs. It can be an opportunity to cultivate mindfulness and appreciate the present moment. Whether you choose to fill the silence with sound or savor the peace it brings, the key is to find a balance that suits your lifestyle and preferences. 11. You need to be intentional about physical activity. Living alone, especially as you grow older, can mean fewer reasons to get up and move. Without a partner or housemate encouraging you to go for a walk or participate in shared activities, it's easy to fall into a sedentary lifestyle. Many people on forums have confessed that after living alone for some time, they noticed their physical fitness declining. One man shared how he slowly stopped taking daily walks and found himself sitting more. "I didn't realize how much less active I was until my body started to stiffen up," he said. Staying physically active requires more intention when you're the only one motivating yourself. A good way to maintain your health is to incorporate physical activity into your routine, no matter how small. Whether it's setting a daily step goal, doing some light stretching in the mornings, or joining a local fitness class for older adults, these little efforts can have a big impact on your well-being. One woman decided to get a dog purely for this reason: the dog needs to walk, so she gets moving too. Physical activity doesn't have to mean going to the gym. It can be gardening, dancing around your living room, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Keeping your body in motion not only helps you physically but also lifts your mood and clears your mind. Living alone as an older person has its challenges, but it can also be deeply fulfilling. You have the freedom to create the life you want, and that's something precious. Just remember, it's okay to ask for help, to prepare for the unexpected, and to lean on others when needed. You've made it this far, and there's still so much to look forward to. Surround yourself with what makes you happy, whether that's a beloved pet, a garden, or your favorite book. And when the hard days come, remember that you're not truly alone. There's a whole community of people just like you finding their way through it too. Feel free to share your own thoughts and experiences in the comments. If you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Stoic Mind Mastery channel to not miss any of our future videos. Thank you for watching.